Hey there, partners. Mike here. Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection is back with a Western Roundup update. And today, guys, I want to show off some Western videos and movies and whatnot that I've watched over past few months or so. And some of these are some new first-time watches, and some of the other ones are some interesting finds. So let's get right to it, guys. This was a movie that I had never seen. This is a first time watch. I may have seen it on TV. I don't remember. But this was a movie I completely missed during its run when it first came out in the 90s. I believe this came out in 96, 95, 94. I was wrong. Okay, this movie, Maverick. That's right, guys. This movie directed by Richard Donner of Superman fame. This is the UK Blu-ray edition. Tracked down that one. I don't think the US has a decent Blu-ray of it. I'm not really sure if it's like... I know we have one, but I mostly always see the DVD for some reason. But anyways, guys, this came out in 94. Maverick. It's based on the TV show from the 60s, I believe, which I think James Gardner was on. But yeah, this, what can I say about this? It was a big movie, a big hit. Mel Gibson was huge at the time. But yeah, it's got Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, James Gardner, Graham Greene, James Coburn, Mr. Teeth, Alfred Molina, and yeah, pretty cool. Director of photography Vilmo Zsigmond, music by Randy Newman, and based on a script by William Goldman. You know, he was pretty popular in the 90s. He did a bunch of movies, scripts and stuff. But what can I say? This is it's kind of a comedy western drama. You know, it's comedy, but it's not like comedy. You know what I mean? Mel Gibson, you know, is pretty funny in this movie. But basically, he's a gambler. He's a rogue. People think he's this, tin horn guy. But he's really got the shooting skills. He's got he can shoot people with the best of them. He's great with a handgun, and he's good with the cards. And he meets Jodie Foster, and but yeah, let me read a little bit about this. Riverboat Poker tournament promises a winner take all $500,000 Annie, and Mel Gibson aims to be the winner, and who does the talking. But first, he must cope with the hangman's noose, a runaway stagecoach, a wily Indian chief, outlaws, ingrates, rattlesnakes, and more. More close calls than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That's right. Under the wily direction of Richard Donner, these jokers are wild. So yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty funny. Kind of revolves around poker, everything. It's got a HBO first look special look at the making of the movie Maverick, which was something HBO did quite a bit back in those days. Back before Blu-rays and DVDs with extras and supplements and stuff. I mean, sure, we had Laserdisc, but basically you're going to get an audio commentary from those. So yeah, TV was still needed for information. You know, this is before the internet revolution and everything. So yeah, Maverick, first time watch, I enjoyed it. Definitely want to watch it again in the future. So yeah, Maverick. Next up, this is a movie of controversy nowadays. It is probably the most politically incorrect movie I can think of right now. But this movie I grew up with. I grew up with this movie, believe it or not. It's raunchy, it's funny, It's just got bad humor. I mean, it's got fart jokes. It's got funny throwbacks to Hollywood. It's kind of a meta movie in a way. At the end, it kind of opens up. But man, this movie is so funny. In 1974, Mel Brooks had a two-shot winning year. I mean, he did Young Frankenstein and this movie, Blazing Saddles, all in one year. Both his two funniest movies he's ever made, I believe. And a lot of people don't like this movie nowadays. I'm not sure if they just don't get the humor, or they don't like it. Maybe they think it's racist or something. But what's funny is it was written by Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was one of the main writers of this with Mel Brooks. And he was actually going to be the lead. He was going to be the black sheriff in this, but Cleavon Little, it went to him because Richard Pryor had a problem showing up on time on set, and he had a lot of issues. You know, he was starting to become very famous and popular at that time. So unfortunately, it went to Cleavon Little, but you know, that's probably one of his best roles he ever did. You know, if you think about it. But yeah, there's a lot of people that don't really like this movie nowadays, which I don't understand. But believe it or not, I grew up on this movie. I mean, gosh, it's raunchy, it's bad. It's definitely not something a little kid should watch at times. And I think a little kid now watching this would just be totally perplexed and dumbfounded. I mean, I think the comedy would go over their heads and everything. And I think that's what it is. I mean, yeah, it was written in the 70s. It's kind of a throwback to, you know, movies like Rio Bravo and some of the bigger famous westerns of the time. And, you know, Mel Brooks always parodied things a lot and stuff. And I think he did a hell of a good job in this. I mean, this movie is still funny to this day. I don't know. I guess take it or leave it. You either love it or hate it, I guess. And I love it. But yeah, it's got a great cast. What can I say? Cleavon Little, Gene Wilder, man, great. I mean, Mel Brooks did 2 movies with Gene Wilder that year. It's got the great Slim Pickens, David Huddleston, Liam Dunn, Alex Karras, who was a football player, John Hillerman, who was Higgins, I think, on Magnum P.I., George Firth, Claude Ennis, Mel Brooks, very funny, very funny role in it. Harvey Korman is very hilarious in this, and Madeline Kahn really steals the show, I think, in this. I mean, she is absolutely hilarious. I love this movie. I'm sorry. I mean, it had like 5 writers on it, but Mel Brooks, Andrew Bergman, Richard Pryor, Alan Uger, and Norman Steinberg all, you know, took a stab at writing it and stuff. It's based on a story by Andrew Bergman, directed by Mel Brooks, and to me, it's a classic. It's a comedy classic, in my opinion, and it's one of those movies where I watched it for years and never really. You almost watch it and not even think of it as a Western at times. It's really weird, but one of probably the funniest Western ever made, in my opinion, Blazing Saddles. Which, that one needs its own episode just to talk about it and split it down, because it is one of my favorite movies. It really is, guys. Next up, this is a discovery, a new discovery this year. This movie came out in 1993. I remember when it came out, but I never saw it back then. This is a movie called The Ballad of Little Joe. And this is a really nice release from Kino, and I actually got it with the slipcase on it. Doesn't have dual artwork, but it's still got the slipcase, which is always kind of nice. I like the Kino slipcases and stuff. But this is a movie starring Susie Amos as Little Joe in this. It's got Bo Hopkins, which he was in a bunch of movies with Sam Peckinpah movies, famously The Wild Bunch, he's the guy that's in the bank at the beginning, you know, telling people to sing the hymn or something. He's in that, and he's been just in small roles. It seems like his whole movie career, but he actually is second billed in this movie, and he has a really good meaty part, and really shows how good of an actor he really is. A great character actor, Bo Hopkins. It's also got an early role by Ian McKellen, who'd go on to be Gandalf and amongst other people in the Lord of the Rings movies. David Chung has a really good part in this. Rene Auberjonois. No, I missed his name, but you may recognize his face. He was from that early 80s TV show called Soap. He was in it, so you may recognize him in it. He's in it for a good little minute, but that's about it. And also Carrie Snodgrass is in this. I can remember her name, but I can't really think of her. I can't picture her face right now. But it's written and directed by Maggie Greenwald, a female director back in the 90s, which this kind of busted out with the new 90s indie revolution that broke out, you know, with Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, just a bunch of filmmakers. Great filmmakers were born in the early 90s, and this was one of the, you know, she was one of the ones that came out of that class, the class of the, you know, early 90s, I like to put them. But a really good movie. I mean, Susie Amos plays this girl, young woman from a very well-to-do family, known as a society girl. You know, she was, you know, looking to marry into a wealthy family, and that's how the well-to-do do. That's how they do back in the day. But she has a falling out with her family, and she's cast out from her home, and she's basically homeless. She has nothing to do. She's assaulted a couple times, or she's assaulted on her journey out. I mean, she's walking. So she decides to, you know, cut all her hair off and try to be a boy as a young man and stuff. And it really works. She makes her way out to this mining camp where they've just discovered gold and everything. And she really gets on with this little mining camp, all the people that live there. You know, she meets Ian McKellen, who's this Englishman, you know, in the middle of the West during, you know, the gold rush. I'm trying to think of what year this took place. Probably, when was the gold rush? Was it before the Civil War or after the Civil War? I can't really think about it exactly what it was, but very good movie. What can I say? This is a new 4K scan of the original 35 millimeter camera negative. But yeah, just a great thing. She's trying to hide her secret and everything. And you're thinking in your head, yeah, okay, I already know the plot. I know what's going to happen. But no, it's really good. It's really good. It takes some turns where you don't really think it's going to go there. And it surprises. It surprises you. There's some, you know, some very tense moments. And you're really pulling for her. You're really wanting her to succeed and be happy and stuff. But at times, you know, you wonder about her. You know, is she ever going to find happiness? Is she ever going to be herself again? You know, and stuff. And I'll let you watch the movie and figure that out and stuff. But I highly recommend this, The Ballad of Little Joe. Definitely pick it up. I think it's out of print. And I was really lucky to find this on eBay. And it was still sealed. It had never been watched. And it was sold as used and stuff. So I thought I was getting this used copy and stuff. And I got it for a really good price. Unbelievable. Because it goes for, you know, it's not very cheap. Anyways, if you want this Blu-ray, that is. So yeah, check it out and see if you can find it, because I really recommend it. Next up, this is another release from Kino. I remember watching this on Showtime back in the early 90s, and I copied it on VHS, and that's the only copy I ever had of it until now. And this is a very funny Western comedy. This is from 1948, starring Bob Hope, and this is The Paleface, and also has Jane Russell in it. And I have to say that this transfer on this Blu-ray is absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is Technicolor at its finest, and I mean, it is absolutely a beautiful Technicolor movie, and it's really funny too. Bob Hope can be funny sometimes. Sometimes he can kind of get on your nerves. Sometimes he's kind of cheesy, but he is hilarious in this. And I've always thought this was a very funny movie. But this was directed by Norman Z. McLeod, who worked with the Marx Brothers on one of their funniest movies. My favorite Marx Brothers movie is Horse Feathers. But man, this is great, and it is so funny. And Jane Russell's great as Calamity Jane. Yeah, she's Calamity Jane, right? Yeah, Calamity Jane. And he plays this dentist out west and stuff. He's known as Painless Peter Potter, Bob Hope. But no, this is funny, guys. Really funny. It's photographed by Ray Renahan, who worked with Technicolor back then and stuff. So I highly recommend this. If you can find this on Kino Blu-ray, snatch it up. It's really good. Now, they did a sequel, I think, in 1952 called Son of Paleface. And it's another Technicolor movie and everything. But I can't remember. I've only seen it once. And I may check it out. I know it goes for a lot cheaper than this one goes on the used market and everything. So I may get Son of Paleface later, but highly recommend this, guys. The Paleface. Next up, I got a trio of movies that Fred Williamson did in the 70s, and these were controversial. Now, I guess these could be known as black exploitation westerns at the time. But I have to blank out the word because it is definitely not a word we like to use. Very, very frowned upon. But he did a series known as In Charlie, if you fill in the blank there, guys. But yeah, he did basically a trilogy, I think. And I have 3 of those here. I'm not sure what order they go in, but this one is The Legend of Blank Charlie. And basically, he plays this escaped slave, and him and a partner on this what do you call it? What's the mansion's plantation escape, and basically become like these outlaws, like outlaws and stuff. But they're black dudes, and everything. But really good. Really good. These are throwbacks. I mean, these were done for the drive-ins. These were grindhouse movies back in the day. They're not big budget movies or nothing, but they're a lot of fun. They're very interesting nonetheless and stuff. So there's The Legend of Blank Charlie. Then there's The Soul of Blank Charlie, which is just a continuation of the Outlaws and their stories. So basically, this takes place during the Civil War in this one. And then the last one, I believe this one's just known as Boss. And I think he's playing the same character. I believe. I may be completely wrong. But yeah, Boss, I know Boss has a really good Blu-ray out there, but this is Boss. And I believe this is part of the series. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But yeah, they're all pretty cool. I mean, Fred Williamson is just badass. In all the movies he did, like, he was the Hammer. He was in the Three the Hard Way, Black Caesar. Man. He was in a bunch of good black exploitation movies in the 70s, really good. And, he's, I think he's still around. He's up there, man. He's still just as ornery as ever. You know, recently I saw him in a movie called VFW, which is really good. So there you go, Fred Williamson and those three Western grindhouse movies from the 70s. Now, next up, this is a kind of an oddball Western from, this is actually an Italian an edition on DVD. I picked this up for Sterling Hayden. I'm a big fan of Sterling Hayden. And this is from 1955. Everything's written in Italian, so I can't really give you a throwdown on it. But pretty good movie. Basically, it's called Timberjack. And it's basically about a railroad coming through, and they're trying to stop the railroad, and the railroad's trying to railroad everybody to get the land and everything. And it's a pretty cool movie. I'd say it's an average, fair to average, average to good Western from back in those days. I think it's directed by Joseph Kane. I believe it's in color and everything. But yeah, it's called Timberjack. But it's also got Adolphe Menjou, Chill Wills, Jim Davis, Alicia Cook, Vera Ralston, and David Bryan is in it. So yeah, it's kind of a curiosity, and that's why I got it. And it's hard to find. There's really no good editions of it, really, but I got that. It looks pretty good. And finally, guys, this is one of those multi-pack editions. This is a 5-movie collection, and these are all movies from the 80s up. So these are not older movies, but this is it's called Into the Sunset. And it's a collection of 5 movies. Now, the reason I got this was I was looking for this movie called Old Gringo, which I remember being on HBO a lot back in the late 80s, early 90s. And the other one was Sunset with James Garner and Bruce Willis. And I ended up getting that, I think, on a Bruce Willis pack too, I believe. But Sunset's back. Takes place during like the silent movie days, during the silent Western days, and he plays like one of these famous, movie cowboys and stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting story. It's pretty funny at times, and it's kind of cool to just kind of showing what it was kind of like back in those days, and it's a lot of fun. And Old Gringo is pretty good. It's got a performance. It's got, what's his name? Old Gringo. Yeah, it's got Jane Fonda, Gregory Peck, and Jimmy Smits in it. And I heard it had a lot of acclaim back then and everything. But yeah, Sunset takes place in 1927 Hollywood. It's also got a movie called Bloodworth, All the Pretty Horses, and Don't Come Knocking. And see, Bloodworth has Chris Christopherson in it. It's from 2010. Don't Come Knocking, it's from 2005. And then All the Pretty Horses from 2000. But yeah, but like I said, this is through Mill Creek. And I was really just trying to find a decent copy of Old Gringo in Sunset, and I found it in this. But yeah, Mill Creek, as always, they have really good good transfers and stuff. So yeah, I went after that. So yeah, if you're ever looking for some oddball movies, look, kind of look around sometimes, because you might have to buy multi-packs and stuff to do it though. But yeah, just, Old Gringo and Sunset, definitely just, I don't know, very, what do you call it, just very oddball, just oddball movies and stuff. But yeah, I do recommend you check those movies out, especially Sunset. I mean, it's got early Bruce Willis, this is from 1988, 89, I think, when he did it. And, of course, James Garner is always good and stuff. So there you go, guys. So there you go, guys. A Western Roundup update for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Got a great little mixture this time. Check those out. But a big recommendation for these two Kino releases, The Ballad of Little Joe and The Paleface with Bob Hope. Really good. Highly recommend those guys. And of course, if you've never seen Blazing Saddles, check it out. You got to check it out. I mean, you may hate it, you may love it. I know it's streaming, but check it out. At least check it out before you join the bandwagon of people that hate it or something. But anyways, guys, there you go. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me a big thumbs up for Westerns. If you love Westerns, give me a thumbs up. Let's see how many thumbs we can get, how many numbers we can get for Westerns. And don't forget to check my channel out and subscribe. I got a lot of Western stuff to check out. So until next time, guys, I'm Mike. I'm going to head out on the trail, jump on my old steed, and I'll see you guys again later. Whoa, see. Whoa.